Humans express a lot more through their behavior than with words. However, as it varies from person to person, human behavior can often be difficult to comprehend. It only takes one toxic worker to wreak havoc and negatively impact an entire workplace. Toxic coworkers not only make the work dreadful and unpleasant, but they harm the productivity and the morale of everyone around them. In today's video, we're going to talk about a very common type of toxic behavior, gossiping. We're going to watch an example from a video on Jay Shetty's channel. A link to the video will be in the description. So please take the time to watch the whole video when you have the time. Also, if you like this type of content, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps and supports the channel. Toxic workplace behavior is any type of behavior exhibited by an employee or the management that negatively impacts the work culture. It includes activities like workplace bullying, mistreatment, gossiping, incivility, and regularly missing work. Gossip could have several meanings. To some, it refers only to talking negatively about someone behind the person's hearing or back. Some believe that gossip involves telling untrue tales, while others think that it includes truthful and untruthful remarks. Still, others consider gossip to be any type of talk of a person's or an institution's affairs, whether personal or professional, innocuous or slanderous. Also, it's important for me to point out that this type of topic is extremely difficult just to pinpoint. For example, at the core of the question, is talking to a friend about an experience at work or something that happened bad? Heck, are you gossiping when you talk to your spouse or significant other about your feelings or attitudes about an employee or individuals? Or if you're having lunch with a fellow coworker and are talking about something you heard about your boss. Gossiping can be tricky, which is why it's best to provide an example of gossiping that crosses the line and undermines a person's character. In this video, we're going to watch an example of gossip that I call malicious gossip. Malicious gossip can lead to liability or even workplace violence. This type of gossiping is for the purpose of harming a coworker's reputation in a cruel, unfair, and harassing way. If this is you, or if you see this in a person, then a tell sign in this type of gossip that the person is trying to build their own power and influence in the office through scapegoating and tearing down coworkers or managers. Let's watch an example of this form of gossip.
Did you hear what happened to Jessica the other day? Alex totally yelled at her about the project. I heard the whole thing. It was really embarrassing. I mean, why did she even work here? She's not a good worker at all. Seriously. She's just not good.
Nevertheless, the gossip starts to go to the extreme when she said this part.
I heard the whole thing. It was really embarrassing. I mean, why did she even work here? She's not a good worker at all.
Gossip starts to go extremely negative when people start using adjectives to attack a person's character without speaking from firsthand experience or building on something positive. Imagine if instead of saying she is not a good coworker, she said something positive like, in my experience with her, I think she is a nice person and works hard. By taking the time to build on a positive, she would have elevated the conversation. Let's look at another example.
Well, that was an interesting meeting. You know her? I heard it's fake.
In this example, telling everyone that you heard it's fake first serves no purpose. To be honest, this example is both mean, malicious, and is not founded in facts. Second, imagine if this employee had enough confidence in herself to acknowledge the employee's nose was nice or beautiful, which, to be honest, was probably her real goal. Lastly, if she really felt the need to add in the fake part, which there is no real reason to do that, then ending with something positive, like it looks good on her, or I would like to find her doctor in a joking way, might have elevated the conversation. Imagine if that same person confronts her for spreading a fake rumor. I've learned that gossip has a tendency to find its way through the person receiving it. Now let's talk about how as a manager you can combat this issue. If you are not a manager, then taking the time to speak with a manager privately while sharing your concerns as discreetly as possible without sharing names, and then presenting a solution would be the best way to go. One might consider telling a manager about this problem a form of gossiping. However, what elevates this conversation is that the person would come with a solution and would aim to avoid using names. I think one of the biggest things that we have to realize is that as people, we listen and we receive information in various ways, whether through news media, whether through individuals, etc. So it's a natural part of our human being and psyche to make sure that we are evaluating people and evaluating situations such as the workplace or the environment that you're in. It's not necessarily wrong for you to receive information. The question is, what is the intent? And also, what is the approach that you're using in order to spread and share that information? If you don't know whether or not if something is factual or true, then it might be best for you to evaluate the situation first before sharing and spreading something that could potentially damage a person's character. As a team building activity, ask teams to partner up in pairs and talk about gossip. In 3 to 5 minutes, ask the players to then share out. Then present a video that talks about gossip by either showing this video or finding another video that provides other examples. Then ask teams to create their own scenarios and act it out. Lastly, please ask players to be kind to each other, as I'm sure they have seen examples of gossip and they may be trying to emulate other people within the organization. And that's it. Always remember, keep it fun, keep it engaging as you move your team into the future. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you like this type of content. Happy planning.